We share our planet with spectacular wild animals which have adapted to live in the strangest and harshest of environments. Now, more than ever, they are an inspiration for us all. And in these extraordinary times, there is one thing that can offer solace to everyone: the wonder of the natural world. To raise our spirits during the pandemic, we brought together composer Hans Zimmer and Jacob Shea, and top-selling artist Dave, to create a visual and musical feast. From the hottest deserts to the freezing poles, and from highest mountains to mysterious kingdoms underwater. This is Planet Earth, a celebration. Never before in the history of humankind has it been more critical to protect and nurture the natural world. Which is, after all, our home too.
Well, Good morning, Vision. Welcome to our Sunday celebration. So glad that you are here. The music just welcomes us in, doesn't it? Thank you for the celebration singers and all of their hard work and dedication, bringing us that wonderful song every Sunday. And they just keep doing it, keep committing to making sure we have celebration music on Sundays. So thank you to the celebration singers. Welcome to a wonderful Sunday celebration here at Vision. Wherever you are, just get comfortable. We have a lovely Sunday celebration for you, and we begin everything in prayer. So let's go there now. I give great thanks for this day, for knowing just that Spirit is at the center of everything. Spirit is at the center and the heart of everything. So we know that we are there as well. We are within God. God is within us. There is just this one life, this one energy that we call spirit. We know that this energy drives everything, is at the heart and the center of everything, and is absolutely everything is made of it. We know that there is nothing else. There is only spirit in every single form that it inhabits. So we know that everything, everywhere, everyone is some aspect of the divine life of God's. Just breathing that in, we know it is all God, it is all good, and so it is. So how are you this morning? I hope you're comfortable wherever you are, whether you're in town here in San Diego or across the country or around the globe. I mean, you could be tuning in from anywhere. So thank you for that. Thank you for stopping right here and not going to another website, but stopping right here at this one. We have a lovely, lovely celebration in store for you. I also want you to know that we have licensed practitioners. These are spiritual guides who have gone to school for years in the art of compassionate listening and the science of healing prayer. They are here to support us in love, in joy, in prayer all the time. So if there is anything on your heart, go to our website. Let me think of what that is. www.visioncsl.org. We have a practitioner page. You can scroll through the practitioners, find one, get their phone number, call them, have prayer over the phone. You can submit on the website also a prayer request online. The practitioners will pray on it. If you leave your phone number, they'll call you back as well. There are any number of ways you can be served in prayer. After the celebration today, we're going to have a meet and greet in a Zoom room. The Zoom address will be in the dialogue box here, so you can check that out. Go to the go to the meet and greet room, and you can get one-on-one prayer there. They'll send you off into a private Zoom room with a practitioner to get prayer there as well. So we are here. We are still here, regardless of the fact that you're not here. We are still here to serve you in prayer every single day. So please take advantage of that. See us, come by the meet and greet room, get one-on-one prayer support, or call a practitioner for prayer support, or go online and get online written prayer support. Any way that we can serve you. We are here to serve you in prayer. We know, even though you're nice and at home and comfortable and everything, we know that there's a lot up in the world right now, isn't there, that might cause you to fall out of that holy instant that we call life. So whatever it is that is on your heart, please do not hesitate to call and get prayer support. Because why? Because we know prayer changes things. It absolutely does. So just breathe that in, take that into consideration. After the celebration, contact with us. Come to the meet and greet, or come give a practitioner a call. Do what you should do, right, to keep your soul uplifted. Let's see, what else can I tell you? We are a place where everyone is welcome. This is the place of just diversity. We are absolutely a home for everyone. So we have a saying. And I'm going to say it right now. We usually give it out at for the welcome packets, but there's nobody here, right? There's just us. So I'm going to say it for you instead. You ready? Are you listening? And you at home, if you know it, if you've been here, if you're a member of Vision, you know it as well. So let's all say it together. You ready? Whoever you are and wherever you are welcome here. You are safe and you are loved. Yeah, remember that? Remember how good that feels when we're all sitting together remembering that. So wherever you are, whether you're a member or not, whether this is your first time tuning in to Vision, know that you are safe and you are welcome, and this is a place for you. It is a place of love. It is a place of diversity. It is a place that you can call home. So I'm going to turn it over now back to the celebration singers who are going to do our centering song to prepare us for meditation. Thank you.
I breathe and know the truth for me. I breathe and know the truth for you. We breathe and know the truth for all. We breathe and know the truth. I breathe and know the truth for me. I breathe and know the truth for you. We breathe and know the truth for all. We breathe and know the truth. We breathe and know the truth. We breathe and know the truth.
Good morning. My name is Ann DiNapoli, and I'm a licensed practitioner with Vision, and I'm so happy to be here this morning. We have a couple of quotes to move into our 5-minute meditation. The first one is Nelson Mandela. I learned that courage was not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. The brave man is not he who does not feel afraid, but he who conquers that fear. The second one is from our founder, Ernest Holmes. Let us so live and think that we may rise in the morning, renewed in body and mind, with a brighter outlook, a happier expectation, and a clearer joy. standing in this silence, feeling so blessed to be standing in this sacred space, on this sacred planet, knowing that there is only one presence, one power, one thought, one mind, knowing that I am part of the all, of that greater, unimaginable all, knowing that each and every one of us are being called at this particular time to bring ourselves to the center of our being, to the center where all of the qualities of God reside, the peace, the compassion, the love, the abundance, the joy, all of that. And we know that our egos want to go out there and play. We want to become involved in the 3D world. That's not where our calling is. Right now, it's about love, about peace, about the divine. We don't know why everything's happening, and it does not matter, because I know in my very bones that God knows what it's doing. There is a plan, there is peace, there is joy. We are, as humanity, awakening to what is not working, and we are choosing right here, right now, all of the qualities of God. We are caring for one another. There is health, there's well-being, there's food, water, there's everything we could possibly need. We are simply gathering together and knowing this for ourselves and for everyone, that the world that works for everyone is right here, right now. And standing in that, I am so grateful. I'm grateful for this teaching, for the grounding, for the knowing of God. And I know for all of us, all of that. And I release this with great joy and gratitude, trusting and knowing that there is no place where God is not. And so it is.
Here's another Lula song called One Heart Beating. Let's all come together and sing this song when we are united and standing strong. There is nowhere than the heart we share with one another, no other there. We are one people breathing one air, one human family we can all share. We are one spirit, come from one mind, one heart beating, one life. One heart beating, one life. One heart beating. See our brothers and sisters in everyone. No one's outside the circle, no us and them. Embrace our differences, see what we can learn from one another. With love we affirm. We are one people, breathing one air, one human family we can all share. We are one spirit, come from one mind, one heart beating, one life. One heart beating, one life. We are one people breathing one air, one human family we can all share. We are one spirit, come from one mind, one heart beating, one life. One heart beating, one life. One heart beating. We are one people
are one spirit, come from one mind, one heart beating, one life. One heart beating, one life. One heart beating, one life.
Finally.
That was lovely. You know, I just so miss everybody together in the sanctuary. It's good to see them up on the big screen. It's the next best thing, right? Until we're all back together. So, we are finishing up September's talks. This is the last talk of the month. And remember, the theme for September was facing the fear. So that's what it's been about all month long. We started off with F everything and run, right? Which was F-E-A-R, fear, right? Forget everything and run. And that's where we started it, right? Fear, F-E-A-R, get it? Okay, so that's where we began, and we are ending up here today. Face everything and rise, which is also F-E-A-R, get it? Isn't that clever? Oh my gosh. Anyway, so that's what we're talking about today, because that's what we do on this spiritual path of ours, isn't it? We face everything and rise. We don't run from it. We lean in and we go through. When something is challenging to us, when fear is up, when uncertainty and doubt, that's what we do. We hang in there, we lean in, we go through it. We don't stick our heads in the sand. We do not deny the facts. Ernest Holmes said, you know, you don't deny the facts. We lean in, we go beyond, and we see the truth as we are dealing with the facts. That's really what our path is, right? And then when we go within, in prayer and meditation, that's where we turn away from the physical world. When we go into prayer, we immerse ourselves in the truth of our being, in the truth of our oneness, in the truth of our wholeness. That is when we absolutely turn away from the condition, when we go to prayer. Ernest Holmes said this in the Science of Mind textbook. We are practicing scientifically when the mind refuses to see the apparent condition and turns to the absolute. A scientific treatment, which is, of course, his terminology for affirmative prayer, we know this, right? A scientific treatment cannot be conditioned upon anything that now exists, upon any experience less than perfection. In treatment, we turn entirely from the relative, entirely away from what appears to be. So that is the time for us to absolutely turn our backs on the condition, is when we go to prayer. That's what we do. We deal with the condition when we are in the reality of the condition, when we are in the everyday life, but we deal in the absolute when we go to prayer. We don't simply turn from the condition and go, la, 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 you know, I'm not here and it's not hot. You know, that's the metaphysician in hell, right? La, 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 stick your fingers in your ear and say, I'm not here and it's not hot. That's putting the smiley face sticker over the check engine light when it comes on, right? I'm just going to ignore the facts, la, la, la. I know God is all good, la, la, la. That's not what we're taught to do. That is the spiritual bypass. That's the absolute definition of the spiritual bypass. Just pretending the facts are not happening all around you and saying, la, 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 I'm not here. No, Ernest Holmes said, we don't deny the facts. We deal with the facts. We do not deny the condition. We deal with the condition, but we go to the truth. In prayer, we go to the absolute. In meditation, remember the teaching symbol, right? The circle with the V and the three aspects of God, right? We don't, if you remember the teaching symbol, we don't argue with the point, right? When the V comes down into the point of manifestation in the physical world, we don't argue with the manifestation. That is not the place to be. We don't stand around saying, well, this shouldn't be happening. This should not be happening. But it is. It is the physical condition. So we need to deal with the physical condition, but part of dealing with the physical condition is looking beyond it, looking beyond the physical condition to the truth that wants to be revealed, to the truth that wants to make itself known through whatever condition that is. Remember, going back to that quote that Ernest Holmes said, a scientific treatment, that affirmative prayer, cannot be conditioned on anything else that now exists. Cannot be conditioned by anything else that now exists. That means that we can't imagine what already is. Right? We cannot imagine what already is. We must be a greater consciousness to allow something greater to come into manifestation. We have to have a greater vision for what Spirit has in mind. There are infinite patterns in Spirit that can flow through us into being, but we have to be the place. We have to be receptive. We have to be that place of unconditional love and receptivity for Spirit to flow into being, something maybe that has never been before, maybe something that you've never thought of before, maybe some idea that's just never ever been manifest before. Remember what Thomas Troward said, principle is not bound by precedent, which means that Spirit can create anything. And it is not bound by, or it's not held up by, or it's not limited by anything that it has produced before. Spirit is free to manifest in infinite ways. So there are an infinite number of ways any challenge that we might be having can be resolved. And Spirit is never ever caught up in anything that it has already created, right? So the answered prayer, the thing you're going to prayer for, the answered prayer may be something you've never seen before, never experienced before, maybe never even knew existed before. And maybe it never did exist before, because Spirit is infinite intelligence. So it is free to create from that infinite intelligence what it will manifest next in our lives. The answered prayer may be something entirely new and different. You know, I love that Buckminster Fuller quote that says, "You never change reality by fighting the existing reality. To change something, build a new model that makes the existing model obsolete." So we never fight against things. We create something new that makes whatever it is we're dealing with totally obsolete. And you know, that's what we welcome when we go to prayer. That wonderful, beautiful, something new that has never existed before, desiring to make itself known through us. And that's what we become. We become that welcome. You know, Ernest Holmes said, we don't make things happen, we make them welcome. Because what we know is that Spirit is infinite, and Spirit's manifestations are infinite. So we can't say, oh, I just want this or I just want that. You know, I don't want to get specific about my prayer work. I just want the good to flow through us into manifestation. And it is infinite good, and it might be good we don't even know about. We may not know what the answer to that prayer is when we're praying it, but we know Spirit does. We absolutely know, that Spirit knows. And it's okay if we don't know. It's okay. I usually say in prayer, that as far as Spirit is concerned, we're on a need-to-know basis. And most of the time, we don't need to know. We just don't. We just allow ourselves to be those clear and open vessels through which Spirit can flow, changing the conditions around us. But we don't manifest those desires. We don't become that clear and open and loving vessel through which Spirit can flow by fighting against something, by fighting against an existing reality. We manifest by welcoming in limitless possibility. And that's how we create this incredible receptivity through which Spirit can flow. And here's the thing, because we are in the physical world, we can see a condition. We can behold a condition in dismay, right? And we can behold a condition in despair. And we see that as a condition, right? It is not representing the best of us. It's not representing the highest and best for humanity. We can see that, and we can know that we can do better. But we don't do it by fighting against it. We know that locks the condition in place, don't we? I mean, haven't we heard that for years and years? Come on, we've been around the metaphysical block a few times. We know that, what is that old expression? What you resist persists, right? It's an oldie, but a goodie, and a true one. What we resist persists. So we don't manifest change by fighting against the very thing we want changed. You know, the end of that expression, what you resist persists, says what you embrace, you can transform. That's the whole saying, right? What you resist persists, but what you embrace, you can transform. And that's where we need to put our energy, what we can embrace. Now, and by the word embrace, I'm not talking about loving it. You don't have to love the condition. What I'm talking about, the word embrace, what I'm saying is that acknowledge. It is the acknowledgement of this is what's happening. This is the reality of what's happening. That's what I'm meaning when I'm saying embracing. You're just embracing it, meaning I'm embracing the, acknowledging that this is what's going on, that these are the facts, right? These are the facts, but without attachment to it. Then we are free to transform it. Because we're not in the energy of hate. We're not in the energy of resistance. We're not in the energy of anger. Because that's not going to create anything great for you except more anger and more resentment and more hatred. Right? When we are filled with the resistance, with the fighting, with the negative energy of wanting, something different, we are not filled with the energy of limitless potential, of what we desire, of what we want to move forward. We want to move towards something. We want to move towards something new. We want something maybe that has never existed before. Right? Going back to that Fuller quote, you cannot create something different, right? Without creating something different. You can't fight against an existing reality. You create something new that absolutely makes the existing reality obsolete. So we move towards something. Maybe something that has never existed before. Maybe something that you don't even know. But you make yourself this instrument through which spirit can flow, creating new conditions around us. And all of that begins in prayer. And Ernest Holmes said, affirmative prayer, he called treatment, right? Affirmative prayer opens up avenues of thought, expands the consciousness, and lets reality through. It clarifies the mentality, removes obstruction of thought, and lets in the light. It removes doubt and fear. In the realization of the presence of spirit, it is necessary while we are confronted by obstructions and obstacles. We already live in a perfect universe, but it needs to be seen mentally before it can become part of our experience. Every problem is primarily mental, and the answer to all problems are found in spiritual realization. Everything is done in mind. Everything is done in mind, and then it shows up in the physical world, right? What we know is that the world of effects, the conditions, what we live in, is the last link in the chain of manifestation. What we know is that everything begins in mind. It is the thought that outpictures as a thing. And as we choose to live in the presence of spirit all the time, like Ernest Holmes said, it is necessary to live in the presence of spirit, especially when confronted with obstacles or obstructions, to stay in that realization of the presence. So what does that mean? To stay in the realization of the presence is when you are confronted with the condition. Like he said, don't deny the condition. Don't stick your head in the sand like an ostrich and go, la, 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 I'm not here, right? When confronted with the condition, you go to that place within yourself. You go to that peaceful place. You go to that place where your spiritual practice brings you all the time. It's like being on a boat in a storm. But when the anchor is thrown out and the anchor is all the way down at the bottom, it's peaceful down there. Right? Where the anchor is, there is no storm. Where the anchor is at the bottom of the water, it's peaceful and calm. And that is what your spiritual practice does. It brings you down below the surface where, the storm may be raging and the wind is howling and the boat is being tossed about. But when you follow that anchor chain all the way down to the bottom, that is where the peace lies. That's where it's still. That's where it's calm. And that's what our spiritual practice does for us. It allows us to deepen into whatever is going on, to be able to see the condition, but to go down there into the depths of our being and be the truth and be the calm and be the peace amidst everything. And that's how we can lean into any condition and not be disturbed by the condition. We can lean into it, we can acknowledge it, we can say, yeah, it's a condition, it's undesirable, it's causing me dismay, and yet not be caught up in it, right? Because we can lean into it and yet see beyond it and glimpse the truth of it. Something wants to be born in that moment. Something wants to make itself known in that condition. If that condition is causing us dismay, if that condition is something less than holy and whole, it means something is wanting to make itself known through that condition. And this is how, instead of being in fear, we can face everything and rise. Because that spiritual commitment that we've made, because of that spiritual life that we live, allows us to view things from the depth of our soul, from the truth, from the place of infinite love, infinite joy, infinite peace. There is literally nothing to be afraid of, right? When we have our peace, when we are there in that place of divine guidance, divine love, divine peace, there is literally nothing to be afraid of. And Ernest Holmes said that. He said, there is nothing for God to be afraid of. And if we can and do tune into the thoughts of others, and if they affect us, as they most certainly do, why should we not learn to tune into the mind of God, which is free from fear and doubt? Now, we know this is true, right? We know how much and how often we tune into the thoughts of others, right? All the time. We do it all the time. We listen to the news and we get afraid of what might happen because the news anchors tell us to be afraid, right? Oh my God, this could happen. If this happens, that could happen. Oh my God, be afraid. And we listen to it as if it were truth, right? It's just the facts. We listen to commercials. And the spokespeople on commercials tell us what to be afraid of. Hey, guess what? Now it's cold and flu season, on top of the fact that we're dealing with a pandemic, right? Oh, now be afraid of that too. On top of the COVID thing, be afraid of the flu is coming to get you. Everybody is telling you to be afraid of something, right? We talk to our friends. We talk to coworkers. We talk to family. They share with us what they're afraid of. And then we start thinking, gee, maybe I should be afraid of that too. I don't know. He's got a good point. Maybe I should be afraid. See how it spreads? Do you see how quickly that can spread? That's ridiculous. There is a lot of stuff going on the physical level right now. We have the protests. We have we have peaceful protests that sometimes turn not so peaceful protests. We have the upcoming elections. We have the pandemic that we're still dealing with. We have a failing economy. Right, I know, Wall Street's doing great. Yeah, yada, yada. But the economy is not doing all that great. People are being laid off, whatever, right? There is so much going on the physical level. We could all be upset and distraught and, oh my God, all this is happening and be afraid. We can absolutely get whipped up into a frenzy of fear like Chicken Little. Remember Chicken Little? The sky is falling. The sky is falling. The sky is falling, right? That's a choice we're making. That is a choice. We are not meant to live in fear. We are not meant to live in fear. Spirit is the place we go to, right? If the illusion of fear comes up, if the illusion of doubt or lack or limitation of any sort or divisiveness of any kind comes up, we go to Spirit. We go to our spiritual practice. Remember that anchor, right? That anchor chain. We just link by link in our spiritual practice, we travel down that anchor chain to the anchor, to the truth of our being, to the peaceful place, to the place that cannot be disturbed by whatever is going on at this level. Because you know what? Whatever is going on at this level, this too shall pass. And we know that it does. We absolutely know that it does. We are not meant to live in fear. Even the Bible, right? 2 Timothy. For God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of sound mind. That's the truth of who we are. That is spirit incarnating itself as us. So if the truth of our being, if the center of our being, if the core, what is it Walt Whitman said? Was it Whitman? I always get that confused. I think it was Whitman. Anyway, said that the seed of perfection that nestles within us. I used to think it was Emerson, but it wasn't. I think it's Whitman. The seed of perfection nestled within us, that is spirit, that is God. And if at our core is the seed of perfection, if at our core we are spirit in form, there is nothing else true about us. Every cell, every molecule of our body is spirit having an experience. That energy, which is life, is us. So if we are spirit in form, is there anything for us to be afraid of? Anything? No. How can that be so? God, Ernest Holmes said it, right? There's nothing for God to be afraid of. And the truth of you is that you are spirit in form. What is there for you to be afraid of? Nothing. Nothing for you to be afraid of. No condition is more powerful than spirit. Absolutely not. And Ernest Holmes said this. He said, fear has brought confusion. Fear, let me say that again. Fear has brought confusion. Faith gives birth to confidence. Anxiety has brought days of conflict and nights of dread. Faith alone can heal this confusion and drive from our minds all thoughts of fear and dissipate all anxiety. Love can bring harmony in our lives. So we must go back to spirit all the time. Whenever something is up, whenever the fear comes up, we face it, we move through it, we see what it's trying to tell us. We see the gift it has in its hand. We see what it's trying to reveal in our lives. We face everything and rise. We face everything and rise. When we descend into fear, we have forgotten who we are. When we descend into fear, we have forgotten what we are. We are absolute spirit having an experience. When we descend into fear, we have misplaced our faith. If we are people of faith, then there is no place for fear, right? Faith and fear, same coin, same coin. We're just looking at the other side of it, right? Faith is knowing everything turns out well. Fear is knowing everything goes to hell. Both of them require us to believe in something we cannot see. Our faith, misplaced, leads us into fear. That's all it is. And when we descend into fear, we know we have put our faith in men and not in God. And that's just the way it is. When we have misplaced our faith, that's when we descend into fear. So it is up to us to go back to that spiritual practice of ours, to go back to that anchor chain, to absolutely anchor ourselves back into the depths, back into the depth of our own being, where we know spirit resides, where we know love is, where we know unconditional love is, where we know peace is. We know the truth of us as spiritual beings. From that position, we can face everything. We can face everything and rise. Buckminster Fuller had another quote that I really love, actually, and he said this. He said, "I'm not trying to counsel any of you to do anything really special except to dare to think and to dare to go to the truth and to dare to really love completely." And that's really the philosophy of our science of mind and spirit, is it not? To dare to love completely. To dare to not leave anyone out of your circle. To dare to put your arms around all of humanity like Ernest Holmes said. Because we are all brothers and sisters. We are all one. There is only one life. It is God. It is whole, perfect, and complete. It is our life right here and right now. There is literally nothing to be afraid of. For Spirit is never, ever afraid. And that is the truth of who we are. Thank you.
Here is a Floyd Lula song directly out of quarantine called Break Everything Open. In the mercury midnight, when the moon and me sit and talk about the daylight and what could be. Am I a poet or a sailor, a Satan or a saint, mistaken for the pleasure that I love to paint? What did I think I had to know? Break the mold, break the mission, break the glass, break the silence that is screaming out at last, break old agreements that can set me free. Break everything open that isn't me, yeah. Break open everything. Interrupting the illusion of what I perceive. Summer sings me sweetly and the sun agrees. Willow whispers gently, breathe, breathe, breathe. Melody I discover is harmonizing me. What did I think I had to be? Break the mold, break the mission, break the glass, break the silence that is screaming out at last, break old agreements that can set me free. Break everything open that isn't me. I break open everything. I break open everything. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I break open everything. I break open everything. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Break the mold, break the mission, break the glass, break the silence that is screaming out at last. Break old agreements that can set me free. Break everything open that isn't me. I break open everything. Come on now. I break open everything. Oh, 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 oh. I break open everything. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I break open everything. Yeah, yeah. Break the glass, break the silence that is screaming out at last, break old agreements that can set me free. Break everything open that isn't me. Oh, Break everything open, people, from the inside out.
Thank you, Jami. That was wonderful. I so look forward to having us all together in one room. You know, I miss you guys. I just miss everybody. And it'll be lovely to have our musicians and our congregation all together. I'm looking forward to that time. I'm knowing it's coming soon. I know it is. Right now, it's time for our online. Yeah, everything's online now, right? Our conscious circulation, knowing that this is the place where you are spiritually fed. We so appreciate and we are so grateful for your contributions. It keeps us doing what we're doing right now, particularly at this particular point in time when oh, we're so spread apart. We know that there is no separation in spirit, that we are one, that we are together. But it's so challenging, I know, for you to be out there and I'm here and we're all spread out all over the place. But to continue to support this ministry, to continue to support Vision, to do the work that it's doing, to reaching out, to connecting all of us heart to heart. And so we know and accept that we are supported in that. And we are so grateful that you are the place of supporting spirit, supporting your own growth, supporting your own spiritual expression, supporting your own truth in the abundance of God. So knowing that you are giving today, whether it's online or it's through, the banks or however you do it, I know because we're so separated. How are you giving this time? I don't know. But however you are, either put your check in your hand or put that online donation in your mind and let us go within. And just know the truth that God is abundance and we are that. God is wholeness and we live in the wholeness of spirit. We know and accept that there is only one energy. It is God. We are part of that dynamic life of spirit. We are part of each other and part of spirit and part of this whole life, which is expressing so dynamically, so perfectly, so lovingly, in all of its wholeness, right here and now. I give thanks for this goodness. I know it circulates. I know we stand open-hearted and open-handed in the river of God's abundance. I know that we give gratefully, we accept graciously, we keep in the circulation, in the flow, knowing God is good all the time. And so it is.
As I give, so do I receive, joyfully, gratefully. As I give, so do I receive, fully, freely. God is the river where abundance flows. Stepping into it, I accept and know as I give, so do I receive. So do I receive, offering my first and best. As I give, so do I receive, knowing how I've been blessed. God is the river where abundance flows. Stepping into it, I accept and know as I give, so do I receive.
Yay! Thank you for that. I love that song. It's just delightful. So now is time for the Miracle Minute, and I have a couple to share with you. I'm so glad that you are emailing me and letting me know of your demonstrations of answered prayer. And so I wanted to just pass these on to you. I got an email from Lita, and she said that it was right around her birthday time, too. She was thinking about a new car. She was looking for a new car, looking around, and what she said was the perfect Prius came into her vision, and that's what they got. Amazing, right? Just the absolute perfect Prius for her. She said she is delighted. It was like a special birthday gift. I love that. Demonstration of answered prayer. And for Reverend Sam, I understand that Reverend Sam had prayed about a new position in the company, and 2 weeks later, there you go. It was demonstrated. He's moved into it, and isn't that wonderful? He's demonstrated a new job. What we know is that prayer works. keep those demonstrations of answered prayer coming in so that I can share them with the community too, because what it does is it keeps us motivated, doesn't it? Keeps us in our spiritual practice, knowing, see, prayer changes things, absolutely changes things on the physical level, at the level of condition. So keep praying, keep moving in your spiritual practice, and keep emailing me those demonstrations of answered prayer so I can share them with our Vision community. And now you know what time it is, right? It's time for the last word by Johnny Kirko.
Announcements, announcements, announcements! Hi, everybody. So, right after our celebration today, we have our Vision virtual meet and greet. We sent out a link right there on Facebook or email. Come and join us. We have practitioners available as well, so we can do some prayer with you as well. So join us right after our celebration. Uplist. We're continuing to do our uplist Monday through Friday at 1 o'clock Pacific time. Join us for those uplifting 15 minutes, a midday kind of break. Reverend Patti leads most of those, and we also have some guests who come in, so be a part of that. This Saturday, Reverend Patti Paris is starting a book study. Reverend Patti, you want to talk about that a little bit? It's called Spirituality and Politics. Ooh.
This is something nobody wants to talk about, right? Spirituality and politics. But it's a wonderful new book called The Government of Eden. And it was written by Joel Goldsmith, believe it or not. Brand new book, 2020. So nice of him to write a brand new book 55 years after he died. It was compiled by class lessons he gave in Hawaii back in the 50s. And it is an amazing journey through politics from the spiritual viewpoint, from the highest viewpoint we can get. And what it does is it dismisses all of the conditions, all of the divisiveness, all of the us and them, and it brings us right to the absolute. And so if you have anything on your heart regarding the upcoming election, which I know everybody has an opinion about, right? Regardless of which side you are on, Joel Goldsmith transcends that. And this book is one that will bring us up in consciousness, knowing we are one, there is only spirit. And it's a marvelous spiritual practice you can give to yourself. Saturday mornings, 10 to 11:30, we are going to go through the book, The Government of Eden. If you don't have it yet, just order it online. You can get it, I think, pretty quick. I think it'll come pretty quick. I don't know if it has a Kindle version, but it might. It does. It does. It has a Kindle version. You can get it with one click. So if you'd like to, please join me in that. Regardless of what side of the political spectrum you are on, this is an absolute raising up of our consciousness to wholeness. The next 5 weeks, all the way up to the election, so when you walk into that polling place, you know you are spirit-informed casting your vote. Please join me. Thank you.
Now, she's promised there's no politics spoke about in this class at all. It's just dealing with all this stuff. So next week, Reverend Patti Paris will be back. Her talk title is Web of Life. And we have Miss Terry Wilder with the house band. We're looking forward. We haven't had Terry back since this whole COVID craziness started. I want to say happy birthday to Bev Walker today. And I also want to thank our celebration team from this month who came in and bring their voices to us. And Vicki and who was there? Vicki, Marcus, Brett, and Hummingbird. So thank you very much. And we'll have a new team set up for next month. So we'll see you guys soon. Thanks.
Yes, we have so much support. Antonopoly coming in and doing our prayer work. We have our celebration singers who come in, are so dedicated. Our musicians, are still coming in and playing music for us. The ones who are long distance are sending videos in. We are being supported every way. And of course, we are being supported by you, our Vision community. So our gratitude and thanksgiving for all of the support you've given us while we are in this COVID separation thing. We know we are not separated, but we are one, and we continue to demonstrate that. So thank you so much. And now it's time for you to do work. So if you're comfortable, if you're in your chair, if you've been watching us this whole hour, now it's time for you to stand up, okay? Stand up, would you? Because we're going to say our affirmations. We're going to say them in truth. We're going to stand because that grounds us with that earth energy and that cosmic energy. It just creates a conduit through which spirit can flow through us, knowing and accepting the truth of us as these affirmations. So you ready? Okay, let's say them together. I have unlimited power. Everything is possible. My time is now. And you know, I love them. They're short, they're concise, they're true. So let's just say all three of them again. I can't pick just one. Let's do all three. I have unlimited power. Everything is possible. My time is now. Just resonates with truth. It's so powerful. Let us go within in prayer one more time this morning, right here, right now, knowing God is all there is. We absolutely know that. We absolutely know that everything is energy. Everything is energy, whether it's in form or out of form, and we call that energy God. We know that that is sentient energy. We know it is energy knowing of itself in form, and we are those forms. And so is all life everywhere. So the very grass that grows beneath our feet is God, is an outpicturing of spirit. The birds that fly overhead, that's spirit too in form. We know the very earth we walk on as holy ground, because it is the body of God. It is the natural and logical outpicturing of this energy that knows of itself in form. We know that we are one, always and in all ways. Giving great thanks, I simply let it be, and so it is. Amen. Thank you so much. See you next time.